Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to begin this video uh, by briefly apologizing to my subscribers because I did promise to have a video for you about 2 weeks ago, and instead of putting the video out, life got in the way, and I ended up having to go to work, and so I still owe you that video. Uh, Luckily, this weekend I will have time. Starting today, starting tonight, and up until like Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll be able to play a little more with the computer and put together a nice video for you guys regarding women. I know I have information on or about women that even the women themselves, would be impressed to know about. So, but with that said, I want to talk a little bit about this 21 convention deal that's going on. You gotta think. I mean, I've already denounced these guys because I see them as opportunists. When you're a content producer, all right, it's very easy. I mean, you put out a video. You put out a video talking about pimping. Like, I got a video where I talked about pimping, and it's one of my most watched videos. People enjoy. Excuse me, watched videos. I can barely talk because of the mask. Guys want to know. They want to know. What's it like, right? And is there an opportunity for me out there? A lot of guys do. Can I make this work for me and not against me? Can I use this information that the monks, such as myself, or the other MGTOWs are putting out there? Can I use this information to my advantage, right? To get a leg up on the competition, to get closer and closer, to having my situation reversed, right? So that the punani can chase me instead of me chasing them. How can I make myself desirable, to the opposite sex? Excuse me. So, guys are out there. A lot of, especially you're young, you're out there, and I know what it's like because I've been there. I mean, I've been young. I've been in my 20s, before, of course. So the patterns of thinking, right? They repeat themselves from men to men, right? And every one of these content producers knows that, They know what it's like to be young and to think, to have those questions, what is it like? How can I make myself attractive? What can I do, right? And the girls have their own set of patterns of thinking themselves. That's why we're able to talk about their behavior, because it's all predictable. It's all very predictable. Human beings can be somewhat predictable, actually very predictable. In fact, some would claim, or some would go as far as to put money on how you're going to behave. And human behavior is predictable to the point of being mathematically predictable. There's group behavior, and there is the way in which individuals think and act. So most of us fall not too far from the center. You go a little bit this way or a little bit that way. Myself included, for most things. And then some, for some other things, a lot of us end up, on the edges of things, right? We're outliers, right? Instead of being right in the middle. But why am I bringing all this up? Because I'm bringing all this up because I realize, I see, just like the other MGTOW content producers see, that when you put out a video here and you talk about pimping or you talk about celebrities, right? Some sort of celebrity gossip, or when you talk about dating, right, or making yourself attractive, right? Those videos get a lot of views, But the MGTOW philosophy is actually quite the opposite. It's the reverse of all that. It is stepping away from a system that doesn't benefit you. It has to do with not serving the golden vagina. And so the $1 million question here is, it's not how you can make yourself attractive, right? By taking off your glasses. Like, what's his name says? Dude with a big channel here. I forget. Better Bachelor. Better Bachelor. He said if you want to make... these guys, they throw little hints here and there. If you want to make yourself attractive, he said, shed the glasses. Come on. Come on. I'm not a kid anymore. So the MGTOW philosophy is actually the opposite of that. It's not putting yourself in a situation where you're going to serve the vagina, the golden vagina. So the question is not, how can you make yourself attractive, but is this leading me? Are my actions leading me to slavery? Are they leading me to servitude? Are they leading me to submitting into submission under the yoke of the golden vagina? Is this what's taking place here? And if the answer is yes, then you got to stop that right away. So that's MGTOW in a nutshell. Stepping away from gynocentrism, stepping away from the situation that will put you under all sorts of control, and the knowledge that the monks and the real MGTOW content producers are trying to put out here is just that, right? How do you step away from that? How do you get away from it? How do you save yourself from the trouble that is sure to come? Trouble that is sure to come if you yield to your to your tempting desires, right? To your desires. If you're unable to control yourself sexually and emotionally, mentally, right? So, but as far as I'm concerned, none of the guys that are speaking truth out here are asking for money. It's all these crooks, from the 21 convention. And I do call them all crooks. There's one, maybe two, that I have some respect for. The rest of them are all crooks. And it's very simple. They've done the same thing I've done, right? I put a video. You put a video out here, and you notice that the videos get views, right? Because you're talking about a certain aspect of how do you it's information that can help another man get laid or get sex or get the attention of women, right? Because every man wants to be loved by women, but the truth is that these women they're incapable of loving. They're incapable of loving in the way that you think of love. And so, but they noticed what happened, right? And what they've done instead of having some sort of how should I call this, self-restraint, right? Instead of having the discipline and the self-control to say what I'm really doing here is trying to help these guys, and they want to go this way, right? but I know that the best route for them to follow is that way, right? So I'm gonna continue posting these kinds of videos. Yes, making them appealing to them, but posting them in a way that will lead them away from the servitude to the state and to the women that is sure to come if they don't control themselves. Instead, what they did, right, what these guys have done, is they've capitalized on your desires and your suffering. These guys have made a business, what is perhaps a multi-million-dollar business, out of your misery and your possible enslavement. So I've lost respect for most of these guys. Like I said, there's one or two. There's one in particular that is very popular. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's in the group. And I don't think much of the guy anymore, you know. And then there's the other one that I knew he was a crook. It's just sleazeball, you know. And it's a crime what they're doing. It's a crime. It really is a crime. I mean, with what I know about the girls, I can come out here and I can put out a video every day, right? And I can talk about, I can say something like, guys, wait, just hold on, get your money up, pump some weights, get yourself right, get yourself a haircut, dress up, right? And just wait a little bit, and things are gonna get better, And before you know it, they're gonna come flocking to you. Come on, I can put out a video like that, some bullshit like that every day. I can come out here, do every day, and I can quit my job as a truck driver. But I won't do it because I know that all money is not good money. And that is one thing that you have to learn as a man. A real man knows that not all money is good money. If you have to sacrifice your values, your core beliefs, if you have to put yourself in a position where you're doubting whether what you're doing is right or not right, then you are not going in the right direction. If you're screwing up another man, right, or if you know that you're not doing right by them, then you as a man are in the owe it to yourself more than to anybody else. You owe it to yourself to change the course of what it is you're doing. Not all money is good money, guys. Not all money is good money, and you have to think about the consequences of your actions when you put out a video here. Life. Let me tell you something about life. Life is mostly grunt work. People talk about being rich, right? The rich have it hard. They really do. Most of them, unfortunately, are unable to tell, whether the human relations, right? The relationships that they're being offered are genuine or not. They're unable to tell because people can be so envious. You have $1, right? And the other guy only has 50 cents. And he starts, because when people meet, they compare themselves to each other. It's natural. That's what they do. And for as long as that happens, there will be envy, and there will be, because of the way that life works, there will never be equality. Even two, what do they call them? Twins, right? You got a set of twins, right? Identical twins. The fingerprints are different, right? Or they look exactly the same. It's hard to tell, but the mother and the father can tell because there's a slight, difference in behavior between one child and the next, right? Or a slight difference in size, right? Or a slight difference in the way they carry themselves. So there's never true equality in nature. If you look at I don't know, if you go to the aquarium, right, or you go to the beach, right, and you can look after, you can pick up seashells, and there's seashell after seashell after seashell, right, you'll never find one that is just like the other. You know, they can be very, very similar, but never will they be just like the other. Even when you put something in a mold, right? Say you make a mold, right? And you pour molten metal into it. You know, those two castings will be different, even with the same mold. Why? Because the arrangement of the molecules that comprise those excuse me, my words are kind of I gotta breathe a little. 1 second here. Okay, I'm back. So the way the molecules are arranged in that casting, right? It's not exactly the same. So if you look microscopically, right? If you look closer, those two castings will be slightly different, right? And you'll be able to tell one from the next. So what I'm going with this is people compare themselves to each other, right? They compare themselves to each other all the time, especially when it comes to money, jobs. You know, nobody wants to be left behind, right? Nobody wants to be the last dog in the pack. But it's when you get a guy out here and he's showing you, you come here, you come to the Manosphere to learn about women, right? And you turn on your computer or you turn on to your smartphone and you click on the video, and you see that the intro, this guy's virtue signaling, right? He's showing motorcycles, horseback rides, fancy vacations. Dinners are fancy restaurants. He's showing you how buff he is. Maybe he's surrounded by girls, and then when you start watching the video, he's talking about how how he found the right one, or how he's had many women, or this and that. They're boasting. Life is not like that. Life is just not like that. And I have nothing to gain by putting this out here. Say, for example, you want to be successful with women, right? It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And what we're saying here in the Manosphere is that the sacrifices are not, the real monks and the real MGTOWs that have been successful with women to a certain degree or another are telling you that it's not worth it. Now that's big. That's not something you're going to hear on TV or on the radio or even in a lot of these ads. The sacrifice is not worth it. It's not worth it, guys. And so I've already mentioned some things in my other videos. You want to be successful with girls? Be my guest. You can have them all. Go learn speed seduction. Go learn the mystery method. Those are things that really work. But don't come back here crying when you realize that you gave up half your life searching or serving an idol, right? That just drew you, of course, and took more from you than what you could have had if you chose to do something else with your life. You could be much greater. It's not worth it, is what we're saying. It's not worth it. So control your dick if you want to. You don't have to. These are only suggestions. I'm not here controlling anybody. But if you control yourself, you control your emotions, you'll get to see that life is a lot more than just dedicating yourself to this thing that is full of vanity. And so when you see a guy, he's showing all kinds of bullshit. They're buff, they got money, this and that and the other. It's not like that. Most people will be lucky to be successful in one area of life, and that is with a lot of hard work and a lot of getting to know yourself. Most people will be successful will be lucky or fortunate. Let's not say lucky, or maybe both. Most people will be fortunate to be successful in just one area of life. There are some exceptions. Don't get me wrong. There are people out here who are doing, so-called modeling, right, of human behavior, and they're copying what others have done. But that's what they're good at. You see, that one thing, and that has allowed them to be successful in some, in different aspects of life. But I know there's a very famous personal what do they call him? A motivational speaker, very famous motivational speaker who has, the guy, he's worth, I don't know, now, well, last time I checked, he was worth $400 million plus. And, lived in a mansion by the sea, was in shape. But even he has been divorced 3 times. Even he has been divorced 3 times. If you look at other successful people, let's take, for example, the last president we had, Mr. Donald J. Trump, multi-billionaire, right? In that area of life, when he went into politics, he thought he was going to have the same success, even though he put in a lot of hard work. It turns out that's a different area of life, and the success was questionable at best. And he has been divorced, also twice. He has been divorced. So money won't save you. Being great at one thing won't save you. So when I see all these guys, showing off, right? And you look and you're like, okay, well, the guy's telling me he's a millionaire. I want to be just like him. He's in shape, He's showing all this money and all this lifestyle in the computer. I want to be just like him. Let me follow him. He's got the women, chasing after him, knocking down his door. They all want to be with him. I want to be just like that guy. Yeah. When they're doing that, they're bullshitting you. They're lying to you. They really are. All those guys have shortcomings. In fact, they have major shortcomings because they have shortcomings within themselves. They're unable to control themselves to the point where they're willing to fleece you. They're willing to take what's yours unjustly. That I call larceny. That, in my mind, is a fraud. So most of these guys are fraudsters. And they're showing all kinds of bullshit. That's what they're showing. A lifestyle that is non-existent for most people. It's all a show. It's a lie. But they're in the end, they're all, all these people. They fool themselves more than they fool others. It never fails, because whatever you put out in life, it comes right back to you. Life, it's a two-way street. I used to have this English teacher. Very, very, very nice gentleman. I won't mention his name because he has passed, but he used to say, life is a two-way street, and that's just what it is. If you don't, whatever you put out here, that's what you get back. If you're an asshole, you get the same treat. It may not be from that particular person that you're being mean to, but eventually life will settle all accounts here on this earth, not in the afterlife, not elsewhere, here. So, for those of you that are putting garbage out there, tricking these young men so you can get rich off their backs, that's your warning. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I think some of you are you're bankrolled by bigger money. You're saying you're operating by yourself, and you're not. You have teams of people behind you. You know, when I was a cab driver, I used to I got so good at reading people that, you know, because I took so many people to so many places, you know. A lot of times, before they even got in my car, I already knew what they were all about, whether they had a criminal record or what they were gonna say. Sometimes I could predict the conversation. That's how good I got at predicting people. Took a while. Took about, you know, I drove a cab for like 10, 11 years, you know. So it took a while. It took a lot of people, you know. But eventually they started coming, you know. So I started noticing patterns and things, you know. And these guys from the 21 convention, they're not fooling me. They're not fooling anybody but themselves in the long run. So it's a shame to see, you know, two guys there that I thought were kind of, I mean, admirable, you know. They got to step away from that, you know. They really do. They got to start questioning, you know, is this money really worth it, right? Like I said, I could easily just put out a bullshit video every fucking day, 2 or 3 videos, go on a live stream, and that'll be that. You know, before I know it, I'll have 10,000 subscribers. I'll be, you know, herding guys back to the plantation, and I'll be making money. But the money won't be worth me sacrificing who I am as a person, you know. Anyways, I hope this video served some of you out there. Don't follow these guys. They're fools. They really are. You know, they'll do anything for a buck. They're capitalizing on your misery. Instead of bringing something of real lasting value to society. Why don't they study women, really? Like, really study women, you know? And bring something of real value so that everybody can benefit. Clowns. Anyways, I'm gonna cut this one short here. I got a couple more for you this weekend, for sure. One of them I think is gonna be good. The kind of videos I like to do. Not about bullshit celebrities or how to date or whatever. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you like, you know. There's you know what YouTube is doing to all of us. I'll catch you in the next one.